And I walk on the plane to the flight attendant, and I walk onto the pilots, and I'm like, how you guys doing? Nice to see you guys. And I sit down in my seat, and I have to deal with Shea Hillenbrand. I look out the window, and that smile goes away. Because the thoughts going through my mind are, this is all it is? This is nothing like what I ever imagined. I have it all. My paychecks are $400,000 each 2 weeks, and I got everything, and I have nothing on the inside. So I leave. I walk away. And I have a crazy idea of pursuing my second childhood dream. Remember what that was, guys? I bought a 38-acre horse farm in southern Gilbert, Val Vista and Hunt Highway. I spent $5 million on that farm, and I ran, and I numbed, and I fled from that pain that I had because I attached that pain to the game of playing Major League Baseball because I hated everything about it. I hated it. I despised it. I didn't want anything to do with it while I'm living out my dream. I accumulate 300 farm and exotic animals. I have camels, kangaroos, llamas, alpacas, monkeys, raccoons. I had two 800-pound pigs, Wilshire pigs, Taco Bell in Gilbert. I had a blind horse, a seeing-eye pony for the blind horse, absolutely amazing. I had a 3-legged goat named Trace. I had a Holstein cow named Biggie Smalls, and a mini donkey named what? Tupac. I had to keep Tupac over here on the side of the farm and Biggie Smalls over here because we left that night. They'd have coast-to-coast war. Stop it, guys. But I had a vision. I had a vision of rescuing and rehabilitating these animals with unconditional love. And I had goats and lambs and sheep in my bathroom, giving them IVs and just like when everybody else gave up on them, like they were even giving up on themselves. And I'm sitting there just caressing them, and their soul would light back up. And I said, this animal's ready. They're like, what are you talking about? I was like, take them to the petting zoo. And I had these petting zoo animals interact with inner city disabled and child crisis children in our community here through my nonprofit foundation Against All Odds. The joy I received witnessing my animals transform thousands of children's lives in our community was absolutely priceless. I'm bound to get fulfillment now. I'm bound to have it, guys. See, Major League Baseball didn't do it. The glory didn't do it. The fame didn't do it. The status didn't do it. Everything I had up there on top of the world, it didn't fill that void inside myself, because regardless of where you are, if you're in a $10 million mansion or you're in a $10,000 house or a trailer, you still have to put your head on a pillow each and every night, and I couldn't do that. The first word out of my mouth was the F word every single day. Ah! My wife was like, what's wrong? And I said, you'll never understand what's wrong because I have no clue. I don't know who I am. I couldn't find fulfillment through that either. 8 years ago, guys, I found myself on the floor of a van. I purchased a 10-passenger van to help kids in my community. I was scrounging up change out of my cup holder in my van just to feed my 3 children Little Caesars pizza. I found myself parked outside my ex-wife's house 8 years ago on the floor of this van, motionless, after overdosing on drugs and alcohol. Here's a guy so many people envy. My children are going to school telling all their friends that their daddy played for the Diamondbacks. Everybody knows who I am. A lot of people, when I walk through the front doors of this hotel, oh my gosh, Shea Hillenbrand. I'm like, only if you knew. Only if you knew what I had to go through to get to where I am now. And as the soul's leaving the top of my head, guys, and I'm clinging on to my last breath, I had nobody else in my life because I burnt every single bridge. The thoughts going through my mind are, you're a failure. You lost everything. What kind of idiot does this? What would your parents think if you left the world today, Shea? What kind of dad would do this to your kids? You said you quit baseball for your kids. You're a hypocrite. You're a liar. You're flawed. That's what I was talking to myself about. Those are the conversations I was having in my mind when I was trying to just escape my reality of nothingness and hell 7 years ago, after living out both my childhood dreams. My answer to that question was, it went through my mind, I don't know. I'm nothing if I don't have baseball. I let go, guys. So tired of fighting that game and just trying to figure out, like, to prove to everybody who I am, and everybody coming at me and wanting this and wanting that, and you're this and you're that, and all I am is beating myself up. You're just a piece of crap, Shea. was tired of fighting that game because my name had become the game, my identity. So I let go. I don't know if I died or if I fell asleep. 8 years ago, guys, by the grace of God, the next day, the sun went through the front windshield of my van and went into my eyes and woke me up. And when I woke up and came to, I realized I didn't have any side effects. I had nothing. It was really eerie. I had no nausea, no stomach ache, no headache, no nothing. And the concoction of pills and alcohol I consumed the night before, I should have had two options, either dead or in a hospital. Because when you go to the top, you have an obsessive personality and you do anything to achieve what you set out to achieve and don't let anything get in your way. I wasn't an alcoholic, guys. I wasn't a drug addict, guys. I didn't go to rehab, guys. I was just trying to run, numb, and flee from that pain I had inside myself, from the perspective I formed, from the pain points and the pressure points in my life. So that's what I want to challenge every one of you in here right now. All of us have pain points and pressure in our life right now. That perspective that you form from those pain points and pressure is going to either grant you access or it's going to block your access to the power you have inside yourself. My perspective blocked the access. It got me to the top, but I wasn't able to ever achieve and fulfill what I was been here to do because I got in my own way. I'd sit at the top deck of the stadium with season tickets with my mom and my best friend. I'd have my chocolate malt in one hand, I'd have my nachos in my other hand, and I'd always tell them I'm going to be down there someday. From 8, 9, 10, 11 years old, I'm going to be down there someday. What you guys need to understand, you're not too old to re-tap into that dream or that vision that's been given to you. See, visualization is the number one tool that we have in our tool belt because your mind cannot discern the difference, can tell between imagination and reality. But so many of us, our mind is fixated on the limited beliefs and the nonsense rambling on our minds from the experiences and the stories we tell ourselves continually over and over and over. I'm not good enough, I'm not lovable, my dad maybe not love me. And I said to myself, guys, I said, I got to take two major decisions. I have two major decisions right now that I have to do. Nobody else can do it for me. That's to take back control and own my life for once. And I never had to do that being a professional athlete, a celebrity, superstar, Major League Baseball player. I could hide behind the veil of Major League Baseball player and treat everybody in this room like crap and treat you guys horribly, but I can leave and get in my limousine and everybody out there will love me. I couldn't hide behind that anymore. So the way I took control of my life is I said, man, I got to get myself into momentum. So 7 years ago, I said, I got to get into momentum. See, the way I got into momentum, guys, is that I just started stacking little wins on top of each other. Doesn't matter where you are right now. I know there's one person, at least in this room, that's like one breath away from giving up. Not committed to that, but I'm just saying one breath away from giving up on your dream, on your vision, on who you are, and trying to fall victim to and complacency to the mediocrity. See, a lot of us are confined inside our internal zoo. Our internal zoo is that belief system, that internal operating system of how we run. That's what's going to drive who we truly are and what we truly do. And until we go inside there and address that, nothing will ever change, guys. And what's going to fill that gap with where you are right now and where you want to go is ego. A lot of people that have success have ego. So you can use your ego to get to the top, guys, but your ego is not going to keep you there, and you'll never find fulfillment with your ego. See, ego stands for edging God out. Okay? Whatever you believe or wherever you are, you have to get into momentum. And when I got into momentum, guys, it's taking one step at a time. For so many of us, momentum means I have to stop the bleeding. I can't go from level 1 to level 7 to level 8 to level 9. I can't be where all these other guys are because I have to stop the bleeding. For me, it was like I had to get up every day. I had to start taking care of my health again. I had to start being aware of how I communicated with myself. And I had to start believing in myself again. You have to get in momentum. And when you get into momentum, life will reward you. I'm telling you, this is a law. You will get rewarded once you get into momentum in any area of your life.